श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरण मोहन जू की जय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद रशत रशत शिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद रशत रशत शिमार श्रील भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद रशत रशत शिमार श्रील भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद रशत रशत शिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्य प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद रशत रशत शिमार श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य प्रविष्ट महाभगवत श्रील गोरक्षर बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नित्य प्रविष्ट श्रील सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्य प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री रघुनाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानुगौरी गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शार गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम चय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौरमंडल व्रजमंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री वक्रेश्वर पंडित की जय। तदीय शुभ आविर्भाव तिथि की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा गंगा माता जी एंड गार्गराज जी दंडवत प्रणाम। हरे कृष्णा। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणेति नामिने। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनेति नामिने। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तरभक्ताय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदन्तस्थो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतम्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वां नायमां चरणान्तिकम्। भक्त्या विहीन अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं। भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare. Haribo, Madhavi Didi. I didn't notice you yesterday, Madhavi Didi. Were you here yesterday or was it the day before? One of these days. Prajumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Kishore Prabhu, Vichar Korea Mane. Oh wait, let me put it on the screen. Vichara Korea Mane Bhakti Rasa Ashodane Madhyasta Shri Bhagavat Puran. That's from the song Dhanamor Nityananda Patimor Gaurachandra. I have concluded that the best medium to savor Bhakti Ras is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Yes, you made it in time. Alright, let's start. Chapter 2 of the 12th canto. Should we read about Vakreśvara Paṇḍita first and then Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? Let's see, how long is this? It says it'll take 8 minutes. Okay, maybe let's read about Vakreśvara Paṇḍita first and then we'll move on to 12th canto. Appearance of Śrī Vakreśvara Paṇḍita. Today is the appearance day of Vakreśvara Paṇḍita in Vrindavan, also here in Kolkata, where I am right now. The following is an excerpt from a Bhav Anuvad of the Katha given by Srila Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja on his appearance Tithi on June 25th, 2016. Today is a special day. It is the appearance day of Śrī Vakreśvara Paṇḍita. Aniruddha from Krishna Lila appeared in Gaur Lila as Vakreśvara Paṇḍita in Triveni of the Hooghly district, West Bengal. Dancing with volcanic energy. During the Rath Yatra, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to dance in front of Lord Jagannath. He would organize the various devotees into 7 groups, assigning them different sevas such as leading kirtan, singing chorus, playing mridanga, dancing, etc. Vakreśvara Paṇḍita was chosen as the dancer in the 4th group, and Govinda Ghosh was its lead kirtaniya. Once Vakreśvara started dancing, he could dance continuously for 72 hours. That means 3 days and 3 nights, non-stop. He prayed to Chaitanya Dev to provide him 10,000 Gandharvas to do kirtan. Whoa! As he danced, he prayed to Chaitanya to provide him 10,000 Gandharvas to do kirtan as he danced, for that would give him great happiness. Dasha Sahasra Gandharva More Deho Chandramukha Tar Gaye Mui Nacho Tabe Mor Sukha. That's the meaning. Dasha Sahasra Gandharva More Deho Chandramukh Tar Gaye Muni Nacho Tabe Mor Sukh. It's basically saying what we just read above. That's Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 10:19. Atonement of Vaishnava Aparad. In the case of Vaishnava Aparad, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat mentions that by glorifying or serving the Vaishnavas one blasphemed, one nullifies the poisonous effect of that blasphemy. Mahaprabhu explains how to atone for offenses to the Vaishnavas in answer to a Brahman's question. That's from Chaitanya Bhagavat Antya 3, 449 to 458. Here it is. Listen, Brahman. If someone eats poison, then he must take ambrosia through the very same mouth. Then the poison will be digested, and the body will become immortal by the power of the divine ambrosia. Now let me answer your question. Whatever blasphemies you have unknowingly made are exactly like poison which you have eaten. Now you must use the same mouth to constantly glorify Krishna's name and qualities, which are like ambrosia. You have used this mouth to insult the devotees. Now use it to glorify them. Glorify the devotees as the best of humanity. Glorify them in songs and poetry. I will destroy all the poison of blasphemy through the ambrosia of the ecstasies of Krishna's glories. You have all unknowingly committed offenses. This is the truth. If you should stop all kinds of offensive activity and simply engage in praising Krishna and his devotees, then you will be free from all the sins you have committed, however numerous they may be. You will not be able to achieve the same results by millions of atonements. One time, Devananda Pandit became implicated in Vaishnava Aparad by failing to raise any objection when his disciples threw Srivas Pandit out of the assembly due to Srivas Pandit becoming overwhelmed upon hearing Devananda Pandit's recital of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. As a result of his offense to Srivas Pandit, Devananda Pandit could not develop love of God or have faith in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, despite his continued commitment to serving Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. However, after some time, by good fortune, Devananda Pandit got an opportunity to nicely serve Vakreśvara Pandit. Because of this affectionate service, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed his favor to Devananda Pandit during his next visit, saying, "You are the servant of my dear devotee Vakreśvara Pandit. By serving him, you have greatly pleased me." By serving Vakreśvara Pandit, Devananda Pandit was freed from the aparad he committed towards Srivas Pandit. Offense unto the feet of one Vaishnav can also be atoned by serving another superior Vaishnav, in case that Vaishnav who has offended is not available to forgive the offense, or one is unaware that a Vaishnav offense has been committed. Wow, I like that. That's very interesting. This is how Mahaprabhu gave mercy to Devananda Pandit. Mahaprabhu then explained two types of Bhagavats, the Grantha Bhagavat and the Bhakta Bhagavat, and that one must serve both. Grantha Bhagavat, or Shastra, can be served by Shravan and Katha, hearing and repeating, and Bhakta Bhagavat can be served by feeding him and rendering other services. I did not learn all this by reading Shastras. I heard it when I used to go for darshan of Vaishnavas. Once after Navadip Parikrama, there were no rickshaws around, and people from Devananda Gaudiya Math were going to Mayapur by foot. Pujapad Vaman Mahāraja's brahmachari name at that time was Sajan Sevak. He used to come from Chunchura. The press was there at the time. He used to come from Chunchura to our mat with a cement bag to fill with vegetables and carry it all the way to Devananda Gaudiya Math. We cannot even imagine these tasks now. When Shishimad Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, Shishimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, Srila Damodar Maharaj, Shishimad Bhakti Alok Paramahansa Goswami Maharaj, Shishimad Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Goswami Maharaj, Shishimad Bhakti Rakshak Shira Goswami Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj used to meet. They would only speak Harikatha. I've never heard any other talks at any time. It was always strictly Harikatha. In those days, there were not many scriptures available in print, yet there were so many crowds for Hari Bhajan. Guru Maharaj being compared to Śrī Vakreśvara Pandit. Every year after the Gaur Purnima festival, Shishimad Bhakti Rakshak Shridhar Goswami Maharaj used to invite many of his godbrothers to attend a function at Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math at Kolerdanga Navadip Dham. During the time of one such occasion, Guru Maharaj, after the completion of the Gaur Purnima festival, was engaged in managing the affairs of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, such as bidding farewell to the pilgrims and settling accounts. And despite his sincerest desire and efforts to reach Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math in a punctual manner, he arrived somewhat late to the assembly of Vaishnavas gathered there. Upon seeing that Guru Maharaj had arrived, Shishimad Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj said, "Madhav Maharaj, you have arrived very late today. We have been waiting for you for a long time." Guru Maharaj replied, "Because many pilgrims had come to our mat for Navadip Dham Parikrama, we have incurred a great debt. Today I was busily engaged in settling these debts and resolving other issues, so that the services of the mat can continue. I beg for you and all the other Vaishnavas present to forgive me for my delay." Śrīmad Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Goswami Maharaj then said, "Narambhan arabhit kvachit." There is no need of such an ostentatious display. Why have you taken on more responsibility than you can easily handle? Hearing this, Śrīmad Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj said, "Madhav Maharaj, I would like to reply to Pujapad Jajavar Maharaja's comment." "Yes, Maharaj Ji, as you please," Guru Maharaj replied. "For an elephant," Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj stated, "for an elephant, a stick of sugarcane is as insignificant as nasvar, that's snuff tobacco. Whereas for an ant, the same sugarcane stick is like a mountain. An activity that to us may seem like a huge endeavor is nothing but an insignificant task for Pujapad Madhav Maharaj. He can perform such deeds without any difficulty. In this regard, I have had first-hand experience. Srila Prabhupada had sent Pujapad Madhav Maharaj, then known as Sri Hayagriva Brahmachari. He sent Madhav Maharaj and me to acquire some land at the meeting place of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Rai Ramananda at Kovur, near the banks of the Godavari River. So he sent us there in order to establish Sriman Mahaprabhu's footprints, the Padapit there. After many days of endless endeavor, I said, "Hayagriva Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada has sent us here with great hope to obtain a piece of land on which to establish Mahaprabhu's Padapit. My brahmachari name given by Srila Prabhupada was Ramananda Das, and this is the meeting place of Sriman Mahaprabhu and Sri Ramananda Rai. Although we have tried our best to acquire land, we have not been successful. What is your opinion? Should we stay here longer, or should we leave for Madras for preaching?" Sri Hayagriva Prabhu replied, "It is my feeling that we have thus not made any special endeavors. I think we should continue our efforts for some time more." Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj then mentions to all the Vaishnavas present, You may estimate his capability from this statement of his. The apparent end point of our attempts was for him a beginning point of fresh endeavors. Later, through his tireless efforts, a large plot of land was acquired in Kobur, and a mat was established there. Srila Prabhupada used to describe Sri Hayagriva Brahmachari as having volcanic energy, and Sri Vasudeva Prabhu used to call him Sarva Ghate, one who excels in completing all types of tasks. My personal view about Pujapad Madhav Maharaj is that he is comparable to none other than Śrī Vakreśvara Paṇḍita, an associate of Sriman Mahaprabhu who could dance continuously during kirtan for 72 hours without becoming fatigued. Haribo, Kishori Mohan Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams, Śrī Vakreśvara Paṇḍita ki jai. And Haribo, to say Shri Mataji, and Kishore Prabhu, I already saw Kishore Prabhu, and Mohar, Hare Krishna. Okay, let's go back to the reading. Okay, remembrance of the Lord and his devotees, the success of a devotee's life. A Vaishnav's appearance and disappearance day is equally worshipable. Why? Avismriti Krishna padaravindayo kshinota bhadrani shangtanoti satvasta shuddhim paramatma bhaktim jnanam chave jnana viraga yuktam. That's from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 12th canto, which we're going to be reading soon, 12.55. By remembrance, all the inauspiciousness will become weak and disappear. Then it will bestow auspiciousness. The mind will become pure, and bhakti towards the Lord will develop. Gyan, knowledge of our eternal form and the Lord's eternal form, will develop. Gyan means knowledge, and Vijñāna means realized knowledge, or knowledge with understanding or experience. What is Vairagya? There are two types of Vairagya, negative Vairagya and positive Vairagya. Negative implies detachment towards worldly objects, and positive is attachment towards the Lord. Both will happen simultaneously because the mind cannot be left vacant. It requires attachment to something. That is why Viśvanātha fell down even after performing austerities for 60,000 years. So Bhāratī also did penance for 10,000 years, but afterwards he married the 50 daughters of King Mandhata. Our success depends on remembrance of the Lord and his devotees. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has said, Ashesha mayate man magana hoilo Vaishnavete lesha matra ratena janmelo. When our mind runs towards Maya, then we will not develop love towards Vaishnavas. He taught us nicely by repenting himself. Prabhu lokanata pada nahito smarana. My remembrance is not in my Guru's lotus feet. How did he attain his Guru? On the order of Srila Jiva Gosvāmī, he was instructed to seek the shelter of Srila Lokanath Das Goswami, who is the first Gaudiya Vaishnav, along with Srila Bhugarbha Goswami. So on the order of Srila Jiva Gosvāmī, he was instructed to seek the shelter of Lokanath Das Goswami to go to Vrindavan. No, he was instructed to seek the shelter of Lokanath Das Goswami. And Lokanath Das Goswami is the first Gaudiya Vaishnava along with Srila Bhugarbha Goswami to go to Vrindavan. Sorry, guys. Because of the humility in the hearts of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Narottam Das Thakur, our Param Guruji, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur, only allowed us to sing their kirtans. Once in Agartala, one brahmachari began to sing a Hindi kirtan, and our Guru Maharaj immediately asked him to stop. The brahmachari responded that people will not understand otherwise. Guruji remarked, "Did this Hindi kirtan become necessary in Agartala? As long as I am alive, this should not recur." The brahmachari was intimidated by the force of Guru Maharaja's fierce conviction. They had this kind of fierce belief. Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaja's brother opposed Prabhupada's teachings, so when he saw somebody who had visited him, Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaj would take Panchagavya as a form of repentance. Oh my God. These Vaishnavas were so firm in their convictions and completely detached from worldly matters. Oh my God. Anyways, never mind. Vikeshwar Pandit's disciple was Gopal Guru. Gopal Guru's place is in Radhakanta Math, which is the Gambhira. There are many people from Vikeshwar Pandit's Sampradaya in Orissa. Today, on his appearance day, I pray for his mercy. One second, I want to save both of these quotes. And this one. Okay. Now we are Haribol Indira Mataji. This is referring to Srila Bhakti Madhav Goswami Maharaj. Wow, beautiful. No, but, oh yeah, Srila Bhakti Madhav Goswami Maharaj, he left before Srila Śrīla Goswami Maharaj, didn't he? Yeah. Haribol Indira Mataji and Surevi Didi, Dandavat Pranams. Alright, so now we begin Chapter 2, Description of Kali-yuga, Chapter 2 of the 12th Canto. And we're reading the Sarartha-darsini of Srila Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura. Śrī Shuka Uvacha. If anybody wants the PDF to this, I posted it in our daily Bhagavatam WhatsApp group. And if you're not in that group, I can send you the link. Just send me a message. Śrī Shuka Uvacha. Tataśchānu dinam dharma satyam shocham kshamadaya kalena balina rajan nangshatyayur balam smritihi. Shukadev Gosvāmī said. Let's see how the previous chapter ended, just so that we... The citizens governed by these... This is the previous chapter, last verse. The citizens governed by these low-class kings will imitate the character, behavior, and speech of their rulers. Harassed by their leaders and by each other, they will all be destroyed. Shukadev Gosvāmī said, Then, O king, religion, truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, duration of life, physical strength, and memory will all diminish day by day because of the powerful influence of the age of Kali. Sarartha-darsini by Srila Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura. In the second chapter, the faults of Kali-yuga, the appearance of Kalki, the characteristics of Kali, and the beginning of Satya-yuga are described. Vittam eva kalo nrinam janmachara gunodaya dharma nyaya vyavastayam karanam balamevahi. In Kali-yuga, wealth alone will be considered the sign of a man's good birth, proper behavior, and fine qualities. And law and justice will be applied only on the basis of one's power. Sarartha-darsini. He who has wealth has good birth, good conduct, and good qualities. This will be explained. Dampatye bhi ruchir hetur Mayaiva vyavaharike stritve pungstve chahiratir vipratve sutramevahi. Men and women will live together merely because of pleasure, and business will be based on deceit. Womanliness and manliness will be judged according to one's expertise in sex, and a man will be known as a Brahman just by wearing a thread. Lingam eva shamakhyatav anyonya patikaranam avritya nyaya dorbalyam panditye chapalam vacha. A person's superiority or inferiority in ashram will be ascertained merely according to external symbols. Defeat of justice will be caused by inability to give bribes. Agitated speech will be considered learning. Sarartha-darsini. Excellence or degradation in ashram will be judged not by knowledge or proper conduct, but by wearing deerskin, carrying a danda, or shaving the head. Inability to give bribes will cause defeat of justice. Agitated speech will be considered learning. Anadhyataiva sadutve dambha evatu Shrikara eva chodvahe snanam eva prasadhanam. A person will be judged improper if he does not have money, and cheating will be accepted as a virtue. Marriage will be arranged simply by verbal agreement, and a person will think he is properly attired if he has merely taken a bath. Dure varyayanam tirtam lavanyam keshadharanam udaram bharata swartha satyatve dharshtyamevahi daksham kutumba bharanam yashorte dharma sevanam. A sacred place will be taken to consist of no more than a reservoir of water located at a distance, and beauty will be thought to depend on one's hairstyle. Filling the belly will become the goal of life, and one who is audacious will be accepted as truthful. He who can maintain a family will be regarded as an expert man, and the principles of religion will be observed only for the sake of reputation. Evam prajabir dushtabir akirne kshiti mandale brahmavit kshatra shudranam yobali bhavita nripa. As the earth thus becomes crowded with a corrupt population, whoever among the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, or Shudras is the strongest will become the king. Prajahi lubdhairajanyar nirghrinair dasyudharmabhi achinna daradravina yasyanti girikananam. Losing their wives and properties to such avaricious, how do you say that word? Avaricious. Avaricious and merciless rulers. So losing their wives and properties to such avaricious and merciless rulers who will behave no better than ordinary thieves, the citizens will flee to the mountains and forests. Shakamula mishak shodra pala pushpashti bhojana ana avrishya vinangshanti durbhiksha karapidita. Harassed by famine and excessive taxes, people will resort to eating leaves, roots, flesh, wild honey, fruits, flowers, and seeds. Struck by drought, they will become completely ruined. Sita vatapa pravrid himair anyonyata praja kshutridbhyam vyadibhishchaiva santapsyante chachintaya. The citizens will suffer greatly from cold, winds, heat, rain, and snow, and by quarrels, hunger, thirst, disease, and severe anxiety. Trimshar vingshanti varshani paramayu kalo nrinam. The maximum duration of life for human beings in Kali-yuga will become 50 years. Shiyamaneshu deheshu dehinam kali doshata varnashrama dharme nashte veda pate nrinam pashanda prachure dharme dasyu prayeshu rajusu choryanritya vrita hingsa nana vrittishu vainrishu shudra prayeshu varneshu chaga prayashu dhenushu griha prayeshvashrameshu yona prayeshu bandhushu anuprayasvoshadishu shami prayeshu stasnushu vidyut prayeshu megheshu shunya prayeshu sarmasu itam kalo gata praye janeshu karadharmishu dharmatranaya satvena bhagavan avatarishyati. By the time the age of Kali ends, the bodies of all creatures will be greatly reduced in size, and the religious principles of followers of Varnashram will be ruined. The path of the Vedas will be completely forgotten in human society, and so-called religion will be mostly atheistic. The kings will mostly be thieves. The occupations of men will be stealing, lying, and needless violence. And all the social classes will be reduced to the lowest level of Shudras. Cows will be like goats. Spiritual hermitages will be no different from mundane houses, and family ties will extend no further than youthfulness. Most plants and herbs will be tiny. All trees will appear like dwarf shami trees. Cows will be full of lightning. What? Oh, clouds. Clouds will be full of lightning and devoid of rain. Homes will be empty, and all human beings will have become like asses. At that time, the Supreme Lord will appear on the earth for rescuing Dharma with body of Shuddha Sattva. Stashnushu means trees. One second. This one is sick. Different. Okay. Chara. Let me just check everything's running okay. Looks like it. Chara Gurur Vishnur Ishvarasya Kilatmana Dharmatranaya Sadhunam Janma Karmapanutaye. Lord Vishnu, the Guru of all moving and non-moving living beings, and the Supreme Soul of all, takes birth to protect the principles of religion and to liberate his devotees. Sarartha-darsini. The birth will take place for liberating the devotees. Karmapanutaye. Shambhala Gramamukhasya Brahmanasya Mahatmana Bhavane Vishnuya Shasa Kalki Pradur Bhavishyati. Kalki will appear in the home of the most eminent Brahmana of the Shambhala village, the great soul Vishnu Yasha. Ashvam Ashu Gamaruhya Deva Dattam Jagatpati Asena Sadadamanam Ataishvarya Gunanvita Vicharan Ashuna Kshonyam Ayena Pratima Dyuti Nripalinga Chadodasyun Kotisho Nihanishyati. With unrivaled effulgence, Kalki, the Lord of the universe, endowed with the 8 powers, mounting a swift horse sent by the Devatas, will travel over the earth on his horse with a sword in his hands by which he will destroy the wicked. He will kill millions of thieves who dress as kings. Sarartha-darsini. He will mount a swift horse given by the Devatas and carry a sword in hands by which the demons are destroyed. He will kill thieves dressed as kings. Atatesham bhavishyanti manangsi vishadani vai vasudevangaragati punyagandha nila sprisham porajana padanam vai hetashvakilatasyuchu. Sorry, I might need to stand up in a second. After all the thieves have been killed, the residents of the cities and towns will develop clear minds from contacting the purifying breezes from the fragrances of the body of Vasudeva. The residents, wow, so Kalki will kill all the thieves and wicked people, and then the residents of the cities will develop clear minds by contacting the purifying breeze from the fragrances of on the body of Vasudeva. Kalki, right? Tesham praja vishargascha stavishta sambhavishyati vasudeve bhagavati sattva murto hridi stite. When Lord Vasudeva, the Supreme Lord, appears in the hearts of his Shuddha Sattva form, the creation of the population with strong sense of dharma will take place. Sarartha-darsini. Stavishta means strong because of being fixed in dharma. Yadavatirno Bhagavan Kalkir Dharma Patir Hari Kritam Bhavishyati Tada Prajas Sutishcha Sattviki. When the Supreme Lord has appeared on earth as Kalki, the maintainer of religion, Satya-yuga and creation of population in Sattva-gun will begin. The creation of population in Sattva-gun will begin. Sarartha-darsini. Suti means production. Yada chandrascha suryascha Tatatishya Brihaspati Ekarasho Sameshyanti Bhavishyati Tadakritam. When the moon, the sun, and Brihaspati simultaneously enter the constellation Pushya and the Karkata sign, Satya-yuga will begin. Sarartha-darsini. This verse describes the beginning of Satya-yuga. Tishya means Pushya constellation. Jupiter enters Cancer every 12 years, staying there for approximately a year. And during that time, it is not possible for 2 or 3 dark moons, conjunction of the sun. It's not possible for 2 or 3 dark moons, conjunction of the sun and moon, to conjoin with Jupiter. However, when all 3 planets enter Pushya simultaneously, Satya Yuga begins. Ye tita vartamana ye bhavishyanti cha partiva te ta udeshata prokta vangshiya somasuryayo. Thus, I have described in brief all the kings, past, present, and future, who belong to the dynasties of the sun and the moon. Sarartha-darsini. This concludes the description that started in Canto 9. And also in the 11th canto. Okay, I'm going to stand up now. I am... One second. I'm just... sorry guys, one second. Arabhya bhavato janma yavananda vishechanam etad varsha sahasram tu shatam pancha dashotaram. From your birth up to the coronation of King Nanda, 1,150 years will pass. Sarartha-darsini. The years should be enumerated from Parikshit onwards. From kings like Marjari, the grandson of Jarasandha, contemporary to Parikshit. So from that time, the grandson of Jarasandha to Nanda will be little less than 1,500 years. A sequence not including the period when the kingdom was splintered. There's a footnote here. That's from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 12.2.1. Okay. Just checking everything's okay. Alright. Saptarishinam tuyo. No, wait. Yeah. Saptarishinam tuyo purvo drishyete udito divi tayostu madhe nakshatram drishyate yat samam nishi tenaeva rishayo yuktas tishtantyabda shatam nrinam te tadiye dvijakala adhuna chashrita magha. Of the 7 stars forming the constellation of the 7 sages, Pulaha and Kratu are the first to rise in the night sky. In a line running north and south were drawn through if a line running north and south were drawn through their midpoint, whichever of the lunar mansions this line passes through is said to be the ruling constellation for that time. The 7 sages will remain connected with that particular constellation for 100 human years. Currently, during your lifetime, they are situated in the constellation called Magha. Sarartha-darsini. A precise calculation of time is given in order to define the beginning of Kali-yuga and its progress. Between the first 2 stars, Pulaha and Kratu, of the star cluster of the 7 sages, which is shaped like a cart when seen at night, the constellations starting from Ashvini appear. Each constellation will remain for 100 years in that position. Now, during the time of Parikshit, the constellation was Magha. When Krishna was born, the constellation between those 2 stars was Ashlesha. When the duration of the two stars positioning in Ashlesha was finished and they entered the Magha constellation, Kali-yuga began. When the seven sages reached the Purvashada constellation, Kalki will be flourishing. This will be understood later in the text. Vishnur Bhagavato Bhanu Krishnakyo so divam gata tada vishat kalir lokam papeyad ramate jana. When the seven sages entered Magha constellation, when Vishnu, the Lord of Vaikuntha, the ray of Krishna, went to Vaikuntha, Kali entered this world, and people then began to take pleasure in sinful activities. Sarartha-darsini. When the seven sages entered the Magha constellation, and the Lord of Vaikuntha, the ray, the Bhanu of Krishna, who is completely famous as Krishna, went to Vaikuntha, while Krishna remained Aprakat in Dwarka and Vraj, Kali entered this world, and people then began to take pleasure in sinful activities. According to Sridhar Swami, the word Bhanu means Shuddha Sattva form, since Bhanu means he who shines. Yavatsa paraparmabhyam sprishan aste ramapati tavat kalir vaipritivim parakrantum na chashakat. As long as us. That's weird. It looks like there's a mistake there. Anyways, as long as Sri Krishna, the husband of Lakshmi, touched the earth with his lotus feet, Kali could not subdue this planet. Sarartha-darsini. But it is said that when Duryodhana began the gambling match during the Lord's advent at the junction of Dwapar Yuga, and when at the time he attempted to take off Draupadi's clothing, Kali, ordered by the Lord, took the auspicious moments to gain control of the earth. True, but at that time the influence was insignificant. When Krishna was present, the four legs of Dharma were also present, and the people were completely happy. According to the statement of Earth herself, the strength of Dharma at that time was greater than that of Treta Yuga. What then is the question of Kali conquering at that time? Yada devarshaya sapta maghasu vicharantihi tada pravrittastu kalir dadashabda shatatmaka. When the seven sages pass into the constellation Magha, the age of Kali begins. Kali-yuga comprises 1200 years of the Devatas. Sarartha-darsini. When the seven sages enter Magha constellation and Krishna disappears, the next moment after that Kali-yuga begins. 1200 years of the Devatas includes the two Sandhyas as well. One second, I need to drink some water. Yada magabhyo yasyanti purvashada maharshaya tada nandat prabhrittesha kalir vriddhim gamishyanti. When the seven sages enter Purvashada constellation, Kali will have his full strength, beginning from King Nanda and his dynasty. Sarartha-darsini. This verse describes the time it took for Kali to become strong. Yasmin Krishna divam yatas, tasmin eva tadahani, pratipannam Kali-yugam iti prahur puravida. The ancients, with knowledge, have declared that on the very day that Krishna departed for the spiritual world, the influence of the age of Kali began. Sarartha-darsini. Well, some recent speculators have said that Krishna made his appearance in the first Sandhya of Kali-yuga. This verse refutes that theory. The general rule is that the next yuga enters during... The general rule is that the next yuga enters during the concluding part of the closing Sandhya, called a Sandhyangsha, of the previous yuga. However, because of the influence of Krishna, Kali could not have any effect at that time. Devyabdanam sahasrante chaturte tu puna kritam pavishyati tada nrinam mana atma prakashakam. After the 100,000 celestial years of Kali-yuga, Satya-yuga will manifest again at the concluding Sandhya of Kali-yuga. At that time, the minds of all men will become self-effulgent. Sarartha-darsini. This verse describes the entrance time of Satya-yuga. Chaturte means in Kali-yuga. Here it actually means that Satya-yuga will begin during the Sandhyangsha of Kali-yuga. There's a footnote here. The total number of Devata years for Kali-yuga is 1200 years. The first Sandhya is 120 Devata years, and the Sandhyangsha is 120 years. The middle portion is 916 Devata years, approximately 1,000. Thus, I have enumerated the families. Sorry, did I read this Sanskrit? I don't think so. Ittesha manavo vangsho yata sankyayate bhuvi tata vitshudra vipranam tasta geya yuge yuge. Thus, I have enumerated the families descended from the Manus on this earth. One can similarly enumerate the Vaishyas, Shudras, and Brahmanas living in the various ages. Sarartha-darsini. Just as the numbers just as the numbers and members in the families of Manu have been enumerated, the other varnas calculated, though they have not been mentioned here. Etesham namalinganam purushanam mahatmanam kata matra vishishtanam kirtireva stita bhuvi. These great personalities are now known only by their names and their stories. Thus, only their fame remains on the earth. Sarartha-darsini. Of those who are known by names, namalinganam, and remaining stories, their glories alone survive. Devapi shantanor bhrata maruschekshva vangshaja kalapagrama asate mahayoga balanvito. Devapi, the brother of Mahārāja Shantanu, and Maru, the descendant of Ikshvaku, both possessing great mystic strength, are living even now in the village of Kalapa. Sarartha-darsini. This describes the method of reviving the destroyed line of kings. Devapi was in the Moon dynasty. Ta vihaitya kalerante vasudevānushikshito vanashrama yutam dharmam purvavat pratayishyata. At the end of the age of Kali, these two kings, having received instruction directly from Vasudeva, will return to human society and establish Yuga Dharma, just as it was before. Kritam treta dvaparam cha kalischeti chaturyugam anena krama yogena bhuvi pranishu vartate. The cycle of 4 ages, Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali, continues perpetually among living beings on this earth in the same sequence. Sarartha-darsini. This verse shows the cycle of the 4 yugas. Rajanete maya prokta naradevas tata pare bhumau mamatvam kritvante hitve mam nidhanam gata. O King Parikshit, all these kings that I have described, as well as all other human beings, come to this earth and develop possessiveness, and at the end, they give up this world and meet their destruction. Kremi vir basmasan gyante rajanamno piyasya bhutadruk tatkrite svartam kim veda narayo yata. Even though a person's body may now have the designation king, in the end its name will be worms, stool, or ashes. What can a person who injures other living beings for the sake of his body know about his own self-interest? What can he know about his own self-interest, since his activities simply lead him to hell? Sarartha-darsini. He who is known by the name king after death is known by the name worms, stool, and ashes. He commits violence for the sake of his body. Katam se yam akandabo purvar me purushar drita matputrasya chapotrasya matpurva vanshajasya va. The whole earth was held by my predecessors and is now under my sovereignty. How can I arrange for it to remain in the hands of my sons, grandsons, and other descendants? Sarartha-darsini. Possessiveness is illustrated by emotional statements like these. Since the land was held by my predecessors, how can I arrange for it to pass to my sons? Tejobana maya kayam grihitvatmat taya buddha mahimam mataya chobho hitvante darshanam gata. Although the foolish accept the body made of earth, water, and fire as me, and this earth as mine, in every case they must abandon both their body and the earth and die. Sarartha-darsini. Having accepted a body as the self and earth as mine, they give up both the body and the land at the end, and they die. Adarshanam. Okay, we come to the last verse here. Ye ye bhupatayo rajan bhunjate bhuvamojasa kalena te krita sarve kata matra kata sucha. O king, all these kings who tried to enjoy the earth by their strength were reduced by the force of time to nothing more than topics and stories. Thus ends the commentary on the second chapter of the 12th canto of the Bhagavatam for the pleasure of the devotees in accordance with the previous acharyas. So in the next chapter we'll read a description of the yugas. Haribo Champakti. I was falling asleep hardcore this time. My God. It's been every day now, hasn't it? I have a different schedule now and it's not so easy to do it. Anyways. Sorry guys. I'm really tired. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai. Nityalila Pavishtam Vishnupar Ashtatarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Nityalila Pavishtam Vishnupar Ashtatarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Nityalila Pavishtam Vishnupar Ashtatarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Swāmī Mahārāja Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nityalila Pavishtam Vishnupar Ashtatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtarashata Śrīmad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Mahā-Bhagavat Śrīla Gorksharas Babaji Mahārāja ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Mahārāja ki jai. Śrī Rupa Anugauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Śrī Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Śrī Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shar Gosvāmī Prabhu ki jai. Śrī Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Śrī Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namachay Śrīla Haridas Ṭhākura ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय. श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाय. सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जाय. श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड यमुना गंगा तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जाय. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जाय. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जाय. श्री वक्रेश्वर पंडित की जाय. तदीय शुभ आविर्भाव तिथि की जय. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवाय कृष्ण भक्ति प्रद देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः. वंशा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thanks, Indira Mataji. Yes, I'm definitely going to get some sleep right now. Haribol Prajamana Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji. Everybody who's joins, see you all tomorrow. What are we reading tomorrow? Let's just take a look really quick. And what tithis are coming up? Shivas Pandit will be in 5 days from now, and then Yogini Akadashi in 6 days. And then, in 10 days from now, will be Gadadhar Pandit, cleaning of Gundicha Temple, and Rathayatra. What's the next chapter? Description of the yugas. Alright. Haribol, everybody. Thank you for joining. Jai Shri Radhe. Jumna is asking, is this in the middle of the earth? What do you mean? I don't understand the question. Alright, everybody. I'll see you all tomorrow.